Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wondered why Japanese students consistently do so incredibly well? Well, if you're a focused learner trying to figure out their secret, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're tearing down the myths. We're looking directly at the deeply rooted cultural philosophies and the highly practical study methods that drive exceptional learning in Japan. And honestly, the best part? We're going to learn how to adapt these exact secrets to your own life without burning out. Let's get into it. So, right off the bat, let's address the elephant in the room. When we see Japanese students consistently crushing international assessments, it's so tempting to just ask, are they just naturally smarter? Let's definitively bust that myth right now. No, the answer is a hard no. Their success is absolutely not about genetic brilliance or some magic water they drink. As we'll see, it's firmly rooted in systematic habits, a unique cultural mindset, and incredibly structured learning environments. I really want you to internalize this quote. Extraordinary results come from ordinary people who commit to extraordinary effort over time. That right there, that is what this entire explainer is all about. Success isn't some magic formula you're just born with. It's about trusting a gradual process of improvement. It's choosing systematic habits and focusing on the process rather than just relying on whatever innate talent you might have. Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the innate intelligence myth. Number 2, the cultural mindset. 3, the 3 stages of mastery. 4, the science of memory. And 5, your 20-minute routine. Starting with Section 1, the innate intelligence myth, busting the genius myth. Before we can build any new habits, we really have to completely dismantle this limiting belief that natural brilliance is the only path to success. You know, in a lot of Western learning cultures, there's this heavy reliance on the idea of innate talent. You either get math or you just don't. And when push comes to shove, the default strategy is just cramming. But the Japanese mindset is entirely different. It prioritizes the process over natural talent. It values consistent practice way more than initial ability. It relies heavily on community and collaborative learning rather than pure competition. And above all, it champions continuous, systematic effort. Moving on to Section 2, the cultural mindset, the foundation of work ethic.
Let's explore the deep cultural philosophies that build the unshakable foundation of this incredible work ethic. First up is ganbaru. Now, this translates to persistent effort without giving up. But it's so much more than just trying hard. It's a complete, unwavering commitment to persevering through challenges, especially when progress seems frustratingly slow. Imagine a student struggling with calculus. Instead of just throwing up their hands and declaring, "I'm just not a math person," a student practicing ganbaru works on those problems daily for months. They view every single mistake not as a permanent failure, but as critical data, a learning opportunity. It's really about setting a challenging goal and making a completely non-negotiable commitment to inch toward it every single day.
Our next core concept is gaman. This translates to dignified endurance. Originating from Zen Buddhism, gaman is all about maintaining your composure and patience during stressful, uncomfortable, or frankly, really boring situations. Because let's be real for a second, studying isn't always fun. Reviewing flashcards can be completely tedious, but gaman teaches students to endure these necessary sessions without complaint. It's applied practically through things like mindful breathing during stressful moments or developing an internal dialogue that focuses on long-term growth over immediate comfort. Basically, you learn to find meaning in the mundane. Section 3, the 3 stages of mastery, from novice to master. So, transitioning from raw emotional endurance, let's look at the structural philosophy of how complex skills are actually acquired over time in Japan. This is the concept of shuhari. It's a progressive framework from novice to master. Step 1 is shu, protect the form. Here, a student imitates the teacher exactly. Think of a calligraphy student repeatedly tracing the exact stroke order of a character just to build foundational muscle memory. Step 2 is ha, break the form. Once those basics are rock solid, the student begins to experiment, question the rules, and develop their own personal understanding. And finally, Step 3 is re, leave the form. The student transcends the original rules entirely, innovating and creating their own unique style while still respecting those core principles. True mastery is a structured journey, not just a sudden leap.
Section 4, the science of memory, systematic learning.
Now we're moving from abstract philosophy right into the hard, systematic psychological science that literally acts as the engine for Japanese education. A super crucial point here is a concept called soki renshu, or active recall practice. Look, reading your textbook over and over might feel productive, but it's largely an illusion of competence.
Active recall requires you to retrieve information from your memory without looking at your notes. This physical act actually strengthens your neural pathways. A great way to do this is the blank paper method. You study a page, close the book, and write down absolutely everything you can remember on a blank piece of paper. Then you check what you missed. Sure, it's harder, but it builds genuine memory power and undeniable confidence. And you pair that active recall with kenkaku hanpuku, which is space repetition. Based on the psychological spacing effect, instead of cramming for 6 hours the night before a test, you review the material right on the very edge of when you're about to forget it. You learn it on day 1, review on day 2, then day 4, day 7, day 16. By spacing out your reviews using something like index cards, you're permanently moving that information into your long-term memory. And get this, with significantly less overall effort. It completely replaces frantic cramming with calm, scheduled retention.
It's also really important to note that this systematic, scientific approach, it applies to educators too. Through Jugyo Kenkyu, or lesson study, teachers constantly collaborate. They plan together, they observe each other teaching, analyze student responses, and iteratively refine their lessons. It proves that the entire educational ecosystem in Japan is focused on systematic, collaborative improvement, rather than just leaving teachers to struggle in isolation.
Which brings us to the ultimate engine of this entire system, kaizen. Continuous improvement. The goal here is not to completely overhaul your life overnight. We all know that just leads to burnout. Kaizen is about making a tiny 1% tweak each day that compounds into massive results over time. Maybe tonight you just prepare your pencils and clear your desk for tomorrow. Maybe you focus on improving just one single letter of your handwriting. You keep what works, drop what doesn't, and repeat. It's all about building better habits with almost zero stress.
Section 5. Your 20-minute routine. Actionable daily habits.
Okay, this is the ultimate actionable payoff that you can literally start using at your desk today. But to execute this routine, you need one major prerequisite, shuchu, which means deep focus and concentration. This is about locking your attention onto a single task. And let's be honest, in the modern world, this is a total superpower. You achieve shuchu by creating a reliable study ritual. Sit at the exact same desk, take 3 slow, deliberate breaths to signal your brain that it's time to work, and absolutely, unequivocally put your phone in another room. No multitasking, just pure single-task focus. Now, let's bring it all together into an actionable 20-minute Japanese-style study block. First, 6 minutes of shuchu, deep focus on a single, small set of learning material with your phone completely away. Next, 6 minutes of soko renshu, active recall. Close the book, write down everything you remember. Follow that with 6 minutes of kankaku hanpuku, spaced repetition. Pull out those index cards and quiz yourself on yesterday's material. And finally, finish with 2 minutes of kaizen. Reflect and write down one tiny 1% change you're going to implement to make tomorrow's session even better. It is short, it is highly rewarding, and it is a completely sustainable daily habit. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought, a really provocative question. If you committed to just a 1% improvement daily using the principles of kaizen, where would your skills be in exactly 1 year? Remember, these are not magical formulas. They are time-tested, systematic habits. Start small, endure through the boring parts with gamen, recall actively, space out your reviews, and relentlessly pursue that 1% improvement. The journey to mastery begins with your very next study session.